well. The bomb burst begins then as those red lights are extinguished. Racing here for the 4 hours of Imola is underway, and it is a good getaway initially then from Matthias Kaiser. Jonas Ried slotting into second position ahead of Pedro Perino in the early stages. So the number 9 car has galloped away, and also, as we might have expected, Pipo Derani in the number 47 CLX car is already working his way through the order in car number 47.
Yeah, Francesco Simonazzi just shuffled behind, and there goes the M Racing car, spins right across the field, almost takes out the 88. Tim Kresik, I think, aboard that car, does a great job to avoid contact, but both the pink Ligiers stumbling across the gravel trap and will rejoin.
Yeah, but that could have been a lot nastier than it turned out. That's cold tyres, I would imagine, and just not enough track space for the opening lap. Agostini late on the brakes. Oh, there's contact though with Celia Martin. And was that blue and white Ferrari fully alongside as Celia Martin has turned into the chicane? I'm not entirely convinced she was. There's no doubt Riccardo Agostini would have been faster on the whole in single lap speed. Agostini late on the brakes, and Clement Matter doesn't fight it. That for me is the better option. You know that the blue and white car is being driven by a higher graded driver. Precisely where he is, and
got a good run.
Great move.
That was stunningly well done. Got a great, a little bit of a toe, I think, from the GT car. And this is the 23 car, the McLaren from United Autosports, in the hands of Michael Birch. And that car is going no further. We are going to need an intervention.
All full course yellow.
There's a lot of cars being off that. Have we got something down on that circuit? There's 3 or 4 cars have been off at the same point.
Here comes Ollie Gray on the bootlet of Pedro Perino's green and white into Europol competition car. He's certainly got alongside. He has the ideal racing line as well, down towards Tamburello. Ferrari moving across is not particularly helpful of Riccardo Agostini.
Celia Martin and Duncan Cameron contesting 3rd place.
Going for the move, maybe at Tozer. She's alongside. Good drive off the corner required next, and definitely gets that as well. My concern was that the tyre wear would have exceeded what they would have liked in the early stages because of that big slide. It's now a big battle on for the second of the Algarve Pro Racing cars. No, sorry, the first of them. And around the outside goes Philippe Albuquerque into the Villeneuve chicane. Terrific pass.
Great pass for Philippe Albuquerque, and he needed to get that done.
Now Jonas Ried and Ollie Gray arriving on the scene. So not a moment's peace for Matthias Kaiser. And has he pushed his tyres a bit too hard, as now Ollie Gray's going to try a slightly unconventional pass on Jonas Ried around the outside at Variante Alta. And you don't often see that. Now, he had a quick look in the mirrors to make sure he knew where Jonas Ried was and, well, compromised his ability to fight back.
That's wide. It's a big shot. There's 4 cars involved. It is Nidex Sport 28 with heavy damage, GR Racing's 86, the 57 Kessel car, and there's another GT car. It's at Martin Berry's Mercedes.
Move wasn't on for me from Martin Berry. Mike Wainwright didn't necessarily know he was there, but as I say, it was then that secondary contact as the GR Ferrari came backwards across the road. Martin Berry almost stopping dead as that contact was made, and then of course the Ferrari behind carrying all the speed and just nowhere to go.
It's a red flag. I'm not surprised.
No.
Pretty much the whole field, not quite, making their way down pit lane. The one car that hasn't, in fact, looking in the background, a couple of cars that haven't. The number 32 Kane team car in the hands of Francesco Simonazzi carries on, as does Vector Sports number 10 in the hands of Ryan Cullen. They'll avoid the very crowded pit lane.
So racing again, thanks for your patience. That was a big incident at the Tamburello chicane with 4 cars having to be craned away. All heavily damaged, but thankfully the drivers were okay.
Meantime, one more penalty to tell you about. It comes the way of Nielsen Racing's 27 at the moment in the hands of Tony Wells. That was a driver change for them, handing over to the bronze driver. Drive-through penalty for overtaking under yellow flags. And there is an investigation underway for the 83 car. We saw that car in trouble on pit lane.
Here's the lead change, Graham, down the inside, and Gray's got it late on the brakes despite the distraction of the number 21 LMP2 Pro Am. And now a crucial time to decide whether you're going to stick with slicks or move to the wet weather tyres.
Oh,
straight through the gravel for the 43 into Europol competition car of Kuba Śmiechowski, who was second at the time.
Cameron most certainly did not take tyres either. It may well be that Laurent did.
Yeah, exactly. And well, as you pointed out at the time, I don't think the Dane Cameron overtake had anything to do with tyre traction on the road surface, as now Cameron's going to be forced to the grass by one of the CLX cars. The 85 Porsche, all on her own, I'm afraid, into the Villeneuve chicane, still in the hands of Celia Martin, but from the race lead in LMGT3. Another, but it shows you how wet it is, maybe on cooler tyres again for the TDS car.
That's Clem Novalak. Was that under braking?
Was there contact for the 29 TDS car?
Sorted in traffic, but actually Ollie Caldwell takes the position. Ollie Caldwell takes the opportunity in traffic and jumps Thomas Laurent's DK engineering car.
All four cars are now off. That's the LMP3 entry from DKR Engineering.
Also in trouble, another of the B3 cars. It's the WTM by Rinaldi car that's just been on pit lane for a fix to the rear.
3, 2, 1. Full Cosiero is removed.
And we're back to racing speed pretty much from the 80 kph, and who was quickest to react between Lorenzo Fluxer and Danny Juncadella. Juncadella got to get on the brakes to make sure that he doesn't make contact with Custodio Toledo. Now remember, the bronze driver in that Ferrari is now Juncadella is mugged by the 34 car from into Europol competition. Is the 34 still on the lead lap is the next question, because now 34 has its own moment. And Jean-Baptiste Simonauer, no, is not on the same lap as Danny Juncadella, despite being able to just pass him in the traffic. And Juncadella's all crossed up, and he's going to have to go straight on, as is Simonauer at the chicane, because neither of them, the end could turn in.
That's the leader.
Masson's off the road at Rivazza. He's outbraked himself at Rivazza, or more importantly, the tyres have said, no, I cannot possibly turn in with this amount of moisture on the road surface.
And trouble for the 18. This is our championship leading car, Johnny, from fourth place, and Danny Juncadella is off the track and in the wall.
Cressoni now down the inside into the Tamburello chicane to take the race lead away in LMGT3 from Rui Andrade's Corvette.
This is what happens. They'd have gone down already, hadn't it? Or had it?
Tricky to tell.
Virtual safety car, virtual safety car.
So it is two class battles, very unlike what we saw at the start of this year in Barcelona. A big run off track there from David Perel.
Well, helped by Miguel Molina. I mean, there was a big old shove there from the Spaniard in the orange and black car, but he in turn is getting huge pressure now from the 51 car of Konrad Lausen.
Let's see what happened here. I think he was hit by Lawrence Herr.
In the DKR car, it's possible. Just at the turning point, if Hur was going for a manoeuvre.
Trouble for
No, it's
Lawrence
number
Herr.
3, beg your pardon.
He's had a torrid last 10 minutes, hasn't he?
He's had contact with the 20 car of Alex Quinn, and that was for third and fourth positions, and way off the track. Might have even rolled the car at one phase, but also in the gravel.
By the way, there's a spin there for the Vector Sport car.
And was that a touch from Dillman?
I think there was. It's still damage on that corner.
Fuel's gone in, car restarts and away.
8 minutes to go. Where is the 43 car?
It was absolute heartbreak for this team at Le Mans. They were leading inside the final hour, and then a suspension problem struck, but it's a one way to come fighting back, is it not? In the 4 hours of Imola, at least on the road as we speak, the 48 crew of VDS Panis Racing will take the victory. In LMP2 Pro-Am, it's another win for Spike the Dragon and the number 99 crew of PJ Hyatt, Dane Cameron and Louis Delatraz, who pilots that car. For the TF Sport Corvette, a first ever win, we think, in European Le Mans history.
Absolutely.
For this particular American brand. It's got so many fans worldwide. And another victory. That's 3 races and 3 maximum point scores for CLX Motorsport in LMP3.